Hello pianists! Today's video will teach you through some beginning to advancing level techniques to develop your hand independence. Developing hand independence or coordination playing hands together is critical due to the various demands of our instrument and the repertoire that's been written for us as pianists. Having hand independence gives you the freedom to play with expression, lets you play melody louder than accompaniment. You hear more of that Bach piece in just a moment, lets you play ornaments in one hand while the other hand is playing something different, lets you do contrasting articulations. To show you the need to develop your hand independence, I'm going to play a Bach Prelude in C major, BWV 939, which he used to instruct his own children how to play the piano. This is an early intermediate piece from the Baroque musical time period. As you listen and watch the score, note in this polyphonic piece as the melody switches from the right hand to the left hand. You'll see those ornaments, and you'll see those right hand chords and the left hand chords which lift at different times. Stay tuned after the performance as we'll go through some techniques to help you develop your hand independence for a beginner through more of an advancing pianist. Enjoy the demonstration. To get you playing this Bach Prelude and really any hands together piece, let's give you some strategies so you can develop your own hand independence. Okay pianists, we're going to start back with our C 5-finger scales in triads. You can check out another video to learn how to construct those and come back here and practice this technique with me. My right hand is going to start on a C number 4. My left hand is on a C3. I'm in 5-finger scales. This is also a great vocal warm-up in addition to developing your hand independence. We're going to start with parallel 5-finger scales. And then you'll play that triad and go up by half steps. Remember, when you go in to black keys, go in towards the fall board so you're not having to stretch your hands uncomfortably. And then we'll start in D flat major, up to D major. You can play this pattern continuously up by half steps. You can first just practice it even hands separate. Hands separate would be a great way to review your technique. You can check out another video on wrist circles, but I'll review it here with you as well. As your right hand goes away from your body, you're going to scoop under, and back, over. Triad, just a nice default level hand position. Left hand, as it goes towards the body, will trace over that circle or oval, back under, in towards the fall board, over, under. Note when I have those black keys, my circle will not be as large because I'm already elevated onto the black keys. So it's great for those wrist circles applied to the black keys as well. So some other techniques we can practice. It's going to develop your kinesthetic development, what keys feel like, having to trust them and not watch them. We can also practice different articulations. As you heard in the Bach, I was lifting with the left hand at times while the right hand was staying legato. Let's play our right hand legato and our left hand staccato. Also play that right hand staccato. As you heard in the Bach, the left hand had the melody at times. Left hand smooth, right hand staccato. I'm on D major. You can add dynamic shaping. Phrase goals to the highest notes. We can also do voicing strategies. Let's move up to the key of G major. I'm going to play my right hand louder like it's the melody. Left hand is the accompaniment. I'm going to do a silent play, where I tap on top of those keys at first with no sound coming out. The right hand is going to be nice and rich. Here's voicing. Up to A flat. And then once you can get that control of the left hand, it starts to speak but very quietly. Let's take your time, listen carefully. And once you can play the ascending patterns, also great to practice your keys in reverse. If you're singing along, you also want to push that higher range and the lower range. So I'm going to start up on those higher Cs. The left hand's on C4, the right hand is on C5. The scales will move in the same direction, just the key changes now go down by half steps. So here's the descending pattern within stage 1 of your hand independence. Down to B, white, black, black. Think ahead, B flats, black, white, white. So you just take your time and practice those different techniques, the wrist circles, those articulations, as well as voicing. All right, pianists, let's move into stage 2 of developing your hand independence. I'm going to keep my right hand going on scales like it's the melody. Left hand is now going to take more of an accompanimental role as chords like we saw in that Bach Prelude. So I'm going to show you just in the left hand. We're going to start on a C major triad, which is on C number 3. Have good tall thumb and 5, so all those notes speak at the same time. We're going to play the 1 and the 5-6-5, or C to a G7 over B. Let me explain that G7 for just a moment. Root position is G, B, D, F, which is a dominant 7th. If we want to play inversions, you can leave out the 5th of it just for ease of playing. I'm going to play this up into first inversion, 5-6-5, because it has intervals of a 6th and a 5th above the bass note. So I've labeled the Roman numerals and the lead sheets to help you with thinking in these different keys. So practice that left hand. Let's talk about the whole and half steps to get this transposed as well. So back to C. To go down to that B, I'm going to move my 5 finger down a half step. To go up to E to F is just a half step movement, and the thumb stays in place. And that will be the same movement whatever key you play in for major keys. 5 down a half step, 3 to 2 up a half step, up by half steps, go in towards that fall board, half steps. This requires that you lift 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Use an 8th note to lift 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Remember, we have to lift the keys so those hammers can re-strike to let all of those notes re-speak as well. Once you can play that left hand by itself, you can ascend and descend. Add that right hand. Might need to go quite slow to coordinate this and even count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3. Or go a little faster. 2, 3, 4, 1. You can voice the right hand louder. You can do rhythms, dotted rhythms. Add dynamic expression to the top notes. You could play the left hand staccato. So many different techniques you can add to these kind of strategies that will help you out in real repertoire. Let's move on to our next stage. We're into stage 3 of developing your hand independence. We're going to keep our right hand as scales, and our left hand is going to be various accompaniment patterns. Accompaniment patterns are a critical part of repertoire. I'm going to play with a broken chord in the left hand. You can see it on the score. The way that works is the bottom note of the chord is played by itself. The top 2 of the triad are played together. So I play C alone, E and G together, 5-6-5, B alone, F, G together, walk in towards that fall board for D flat. Techniques rotating a little bit to the left, to the right, up to D major. So part of hand independence training is we do a lot of hand separate work just to focus on it, make sure it's correct in its technique, in its notes, and its feeling before we try to put it hands together. You could also just practice that left hand tapped in that rhythm while the right hand plays scales. So this would look like this: 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could even bring it where the fingers are just tapping on top of the keys. So you then can play it. Staccato left hand. You can do a slurred staccato. Try that in E flat. So be creative, pianists, and try different combinations of articulations and voicing as well. Last up, pianists, within stage 3 is the Alberti bass accompaniment. If you ever want to play classical repertoire like Mozart Sonata K545, you have to play that left hand in that Alberti bass pattern. Let's practice this in our left hand on C number 3. The Alberti bass pattern works like this. You play the bottom note and then up to the top, the middle notes, bottom, top, middle, top. I'm going to rotate left, right, up to D flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Here's with the right hand. Listen to that left hand. Explain what I'm doing. So no, I don't want that left hand voiced eventually, but to develop your hand independence, sometimes I have to make that melody softer so I can just pay attention. Am I playing that correctly? Can I hear all of those notes speak in my left hand? So go slow where you can listen to the left hand, then you can listen to the right hand. Just practice shifting that focus. That way you're accurate as you play through. Then you'll put it hands together. Do the left hand staccato. Switch it up, the left hand legato, right hand staccato. So on. So you can go up by half steps that way. So in summary, these practice strategies to develop your hand independence can be started by a beginner as soon as you start to practice your 5-finger scales through an advancing pianist that maybe is playing a Mozart sonata, so you can then play it one day. So practice these triads in scales in your various 12 major keys. You can transpose it to minor keys as well. Throw in those contrasting articulations, the voicing strategies, play with those various accompaniment patterns. So in your own repertoire, if it's too hard at first to play hands together, practice hands separate, but not too long because you want your brain to unite those together. You can use reduction practice. If you have Alberti bass, like that Sonata K545, you could block the left hand in those hand positions. That way you'll automatize what chord am I playing. You can always do that tapping strategy, play the melody, tap the accompaniment, so then you can play it slowly, hands together. Be patient with this. This is a lifetime enjoyment to develop your hand independence.